Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ajua. If you are new to this place, please consider subscribing, and to all my returning subscribers, thank you so much for your support and welcome back. It's just a whole video, a few fragrances I have added to my collection. One of that is going to be Platine Blanc. I've always wanted a new fragrance, a full bottle. I've spoken about this severally on this channel and it's not new, but it graduated from a decant to a full size bottle. And this is so pretty year round. I wouldn't necessarily call it a freshie for summer, You can wear it year round. It's got that gin tonic, lemon mint, something quite aromatic with the mint and the rosemary, and a very creamy sandalwood, quite woody. The sandalwood really is creamy here. It's one of those, freshies with a body. So it gives it the edge to be good in all seasons. It stands colder weather, it stands, warm weather. It's a very beautiful year round, versatile, easy reach. I love the scent, quite spicy and aromatic with the mint and the lemon. It's so beautiful. So for me, it deserved to be a full bottle in my collection. This is Platine Blanc from Aromatic. If you cannot come across this one, you might want to go with Rose Zingi by Paris Corner. It's a very beautiful alternative. They are all supposedly inspired by Torino 21 from Zejov. And of the two that I have sampled, I have a sample of Roses and I have a sample of this one. I decided to go full bottle with Platine Blanc. I love the bottle. I love the juice. It is a good, yeah, very beautiful scent. And that is the first, scent I decided to pick up in full size bottle. So I remember in the past talking about Dom Rosa. I compared Dom Rosa to Maya. No, I was so wrong. I'm here to admit I was so wrong. It doesn't smell like Maya. Now that my decant, I would say I got this one from Saint Plate. At the time, it gave me Maya vibes. So I remember about a year ago I did that video. Now that I have here Grecia Rosa from FA Paris, this is so pretty. I love this one. I think I'm going to do some dedicated comparison and videos to it. It's a very beautiful scent. It has a very distinct scent. It's supposed to have the grapefruit, pear, champagne, rose, peonies, some florals. This is a very beautiful scent, and some would even say, I would even go as far to say it's sort of an acquired taste. It's a very beautiful, lovely scent, but there's something about this fragrance that I feel might put people off. It gives me something like wine. I perceive something like the note of wine, a bit of a fermented wine in an oak, barrel. There's something very woody. It's quite woody, and it gives me wine than champagne. I get a note of champagne. There's a sparkling tartness to it, but I get something like a wine, woody wine, stored, aged very well, like a very aged red wine. This is so pretty. It's so beautiful. It is one of those, in your face. I compared it to my bottle of Dom Rosa, and I think this one is much more stronger, much more in your face, much more potent. The same scent profile. I think French Avenue did a very beautiful job with this one. Spot on dupe, I would say. But I think there's this dupe gives me more of a. It's more out there. It's much more potent. It projects a lot more. It's lasts better in my opinion. Although this one is just a little 2 ml vial, I've been trying to save her for a while. I'm so glad to have come across this one. It's so beautiful. I wouldn't say it is safest blind buy, but if you want something more complex, much more out there with the rose, it's a very matured rose, champagne, red wine, woody, oak barrel sort of feel. That is what essentially this one gives me. A little on the complex side. It is not the most mass appealing, but it's very unique and very beautiful. I'll highly recommend that to check this one out. This is not the safest blind buy, but if you want something a little unique smelling, you might want to go with Grecia Rosa, and it's a spot on dupe. And dare I say, a better version, projection wise, longevity wise, to the original one. And this is Grecia, Rosa. I'm going to compare it to some other fragrance that I think is a better, has better similarities, than the one I originally did. This one is a very beautiful scent, and I'm so glad to have picked this one. It's a very beautiful scent. I will recommend if you sort of go with my taste in fragrances and you sort of love my bold and sometimes funky sort of, smell, she might want to go with this one. It's a blind buy safe for people who love matured or have a bit of a matured taste in fragrances. Quite unique, It says champagne, but what I perceive for the most part is going to be that red wine, aged, a little almost fermented in a way, but very sexy. Yeah, sexy and dark and mysterious in a way. And this is Grecia Rosa. So I'll give you the comparison and some other details. I picked up Nebras Elixir. Um, I'm not too sure what I want to say about this for now. I would like to say it is early days. I think I'm learning my lesson. When it comes to fragrances that a lot of people rave about, I now want to take a bit of my time and get back to you. That is what I can say for now. It's supposed to be this milk candy, whipped cream, sugarcane, heliotrope. I get a very heavy dose of heliotrope. It reminds me of a heliotrope, fragrance. It sort of gives me a similar feel as bouquet of euphoria from fragrance world. That heliotrope, it's very identical. I get the same creamy heliotropes, feel from it, and the milk is what I'm having a little bit of problem. I feel like the milk needs to sit for a while. It's a bit rancid at this point. I feel like it has potential to be something great, but for now, I wouldn't say I hate it. It's more on the floral milky side, but it's not a heavy lactonic, heavy vanilla scent. I wouldn't want to conclude on this one or give up on this. I'm not giving. I like this one. I There's something about it that I like, but I don't feel I love it yet. I would need to sit on it for a while and give you a proper in-depth detail. Maybe in a day or two. No, maybe in a week or two. I'll be talking about it here and there. But I feel it's one of those fragrances that needs a bit more time. And this is Nebras Elixir. I don't like the original Nebras. I never really gravitated towards it. I felt it was overhyped. So I never featured Nebras on my channel for any good reason, although it's a cult, favorite. But this one I feel has potential. I like the fact that it is not giving us the same berries and cocoa powder feel of the original Nebras. It's something different. I feel it will do better after a while. So I'm going to sit on it for a while and give you better, thorough details after a while. And that is going to be my initial impression about Nebras Elixir. So yeah, if there's one that I was longing to have, I would have loved to pick up a bottle of Infinite Rose from Alhambra. It's a fragrance I've utilized my full bottle like a year ago. I was looking forward to something else because someone told me to look into French Avenue's Rose Explosion. And I'm so glad I got this one. This is so beautiful. I think I'm going to try and get a sample of Infinite Rose and compare the two. But I remember Infinite Rose as being one of my top, fragrances when it comes to rose and bergamot. Initial Atomic Rose it was a good dupe. And this is so good too. Rose Explosion from French Avenue. It's a very beautiful scent. Getting the roses, two layers of roses, the candied bergamot and the vanilla with the creaminess and the powderiness. It's initials Atomic Rose. If you're familiar with that scent DNA, this is like a spot on deep to it, just like the Maison Alhambra version. But I just feel like this one is a little more amped up. This one has a little more body, more depth. It's super long lasting, in my opinion. I feel like it's a little step above the original, the other one. But I might have to get a bottle, not a bottle, I don't want to get another bottle, but maybe a decant of Infinite Rose and compare it to this one. But I love them both. And this is Rose Explosion from French Avenue. Very beautiful scent. That Delina-esque. Yeah, that Delina-esque. But there's something much more addictive about the initial version that I enjoy. Yeah. So yeah, that is it. I'm happy to have reintroduced this scent profile back into my collection. And this is Rose Explosion from French Avenue. And it's an extract de parfum. So it stays, it has that super stay quality. It has that. So yeah. So from Paris Corner, Dulzura, Dulzura, I don't know, I'm struggling with the name. It's supposed to be a simple name. It's so pretty, a very pretty bottle. Okay, so this is the whole length of it, 100 ml. Yeah, it's quite heavy and steady. It's so well done, you know. The bottle is so well done, and the shade of gold in this one is like a darkened sort of gold. I love the shade of gold in this one. It's a very beautiful scent. It's supposed to have the buttermilk and cake, and I get all those things. Supposedly inspired by Cirque du Soleil from something, a very fancy name. I've not tried that before, but I remember that particular fragrance on the screen being compared to Empire Victor at some point, but I couldn't make any connection because I had not smelt that. Even till this day, I've not smelt that Cirque du Soleil, fragrance. But this is inspired by this fragrance, the one on the screen, and it smells just like Empire Victor, the new formulation at the dry down. The opening is quite different. I get more of that red velvet cake feel in this one. Although I also get a cakey sort of feel in Empire Victor, but I feel like it's very identical, especially at the dry down. At the dry down, it feels like you don't need both, although there's a bit of differences here and there that I've already spoken about. I think I'm going to upload that video first, so you might have seen the comparison. It's a very beautiful scent, a very beautiful Empire Victor-esque. The dry down is very identical to the extent that some might argue that you don't need both, but the opening is where the differences are. But it's the middle and the dry down that stays with us for the longest time. So you might as well conclude you're getting your amped up, long lasting, much more projecting Empire Victor. That is essentially what this one is to me. And this is Dul Dulzura from Paris Corner. Yeah, Dulzura from Paris Corner. As you may be aware, I love Alexandra II by Zejov. This is a very beautiful scent, Palisandra rosewood. It's more woody, lavender, powdery, musky, with a slight hint of, wood. Nearly negligible wood, I would say. It gives me more of a woody, undertone than an actual funky wood. And this is from the brand Valor or Valori, I'm trying to really get into the brand because I think they give a very affordable alternative to fragrances. So this is the dupe. It's called Asgardian the Second. Asgardian the Second, and come on, this is like 100% rip off. 100% rip off. This is the original Alexandra II by Zejov, and this is how this bottle looks like. I mean, you can fool someone from afar. So it's supposed to be the interpretation of Alexander II, and I think I'm going to compare this one to Portrait Oud from Arabiat, which I have already spoken about as a good, lighter, everyday, summery, version of Alexandria. This is more on the animalic side, it gives me more of a funk. It doesn't give me 100%, I'll give you all the details, but I think this would do. This would definitely do. I mean, I can get the Alexandria vibes even without spraying. I can get the Alexandria vibes. It would do. It would do. But how better is it to Portrait Oud, and how comparable is it to the original one? I think I'm going to do that comparison and give you all the details. But I got myself Asgardian the Second by Valor. On its own, it's a very beautiful scent. If you love your bold and woody, funky lavender, just like this one. You might want to try this one out, but you might also want to wait for my comparison with Portrait Oud that is coming soon. Probably maybe the next 2-3 videos I would have done that comparison. So this is from the brand Valori. Wendy Wise always says Valori, so I would like to go with Wendy Wise Valori. I say Valor, but Valor is from Wendy Wise. So yeah, and this is Asgardian the Second. Yeah. So I got myself. I got gifted. My good friend gifted me a designer fragrance, the one by Dolce and Gabbana. The one by Dolce and Gabbana. I've had. I think I've experienced the one intense and the only one. Those are the most popular ones of the two. But this is a very beautiful orange vanilla scent. And you know me, I love a good orange vanilla combo. One of my favorite combos is orange vanilla, something like Anabiat Poudre, anything with orange and vanilla and powderiness. And this one even sort of gives me Anabiat Poudre vibes, but they are not entirely the same. It's less powdery than that, but it's the same peachy, pulpy, musky, powdery, vanilla, orange. That is the nose structure for this one. A very beautiful scent, It's a very designer-esque feel. But I love the longevity on this one. It's an easy route. You can, count on this one to last, long for you. I don't think I need to introduce this fragrance. It's been loved by a lot of people for many years, and this is the one from DNG. So let me just say quickly here, it's not a full size bottle, but when it comes to Nusuk, there is going to be a comparison coming, but Nusuk, this is a decanter. This is called Nusuk Mahab. Pleasantly surprised by how good this one is. A spot on. Not only is it a spot on dupe for guidance, you're getting the same intensity, the same bold in your face, rude boldness that guidance has, takes up every space. That same intensity, you're getting it from this particular one. I'm so impressed by the scent profile. It's giving me 100% guidance. I've compared guidance with this is my sample of my. I think this is my second sample of guidance. I've compared it to Decadent, Dream, and then Bayan Ashra from Paris Corner. But I think Mahab from Nusuk takes the cake as the best at this point. Although it's a decant, as soon as I sprayed it, I was like, wow, super impressed. Longevity is amazing. No, it's just overtakes everything. It's super strong. There's nothing nothing like a negligible difference. Nothing is going to tell you this is not guidance. This is guidance through and through. If I didn't have two other guidance dupes, I would have gone for this. I think this is a good one, although quite redundant at this time. I think it's the best, in my opinion, from Nusuk, and this is Mahab, a very beautiful set. So if you've never tried guidance and you are saving up for something, or you want a good dupe for it, take it from someone who has already compared two or three other guidance dupes, and this is going to be Mahab from Riffs. Yeah, Riffs Nusuk, the same brand. So just take note of this one. It's a very beautiful, spot on, giving the same longevity, the same beast mode, everything to do with guidance. You're getting 100% accuracy from Mahab from Riffs. And that is all I have for you today. A few additions that I am enjoying. I love a lot of, most all of them actually. I love them. So I'll give you more details. I'm going to compare it to several other fragrances that I can compare them with and give you which of them is my better alternative. There's a lot of video ideas that I can do with these videos, with these fragrances. So stay tuned for that. And I hope this video found you well. So please do not forget to give this video a thumbs up, and I hope to see you in my next one. Take care. Bye bye.